expert in the region as well. Gordan, good to see you. So should we take the words of the Global Times literally or seriously or both?
Well, we should take it seriously because since the middle of August, Global Times and its parent, People's Daily, which is the most authoritative publication in China, have been laying the justification for an attack on Americans. And you can see that the political system is talking about killing Americans. And these are not just one-off pieces. These have been continual over weeks. So we've got to be concerned about what Beijing has in store for us.
Yeah, when people tell you that they're going to kill you, sometimes it's helpful to pay attention.
Yes, and we Americans don't do that. I mean, we didn't pay attention to Osama bin Laden at all until 9/11.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. That was the Clinton administration who said that they didn't want to go kill Osama bin Laden because they were worried about the collateral damage. And then obviously we know what happened. What is the deterrence that's needed towards China? The U.S. typically, and the Pentagon doesn't typically sort of talk big. Does the Chinese need to hear that?
Oh, absolutely. Because, we've had a policy, for instance, on Taiwan of strategic ambiguity, where we tell neither Beijing nor Taipei what we would do in the case of imminent conflict. Now, that worked during a benign period, but we're no longer in such a period. We need to be very clear about deterring China, because if we don't, Xi Jinping will think that maybe he can invade, and that could cause history's next great conflict.
The reason that China would invade Taiwan now is what?
I think it's because two things. First of all, we know from Chinese propaganda and from voices in Beijing that they don't respect Biden. But the more important thing is what you put your finger on before, and that is Xi Jinping right now needs a foreign enemy. He's got problems at home. He needs to unify the Communist Party, and he's having problems because he's being slowly sidelined. We don't know exactly what's going on because the political system is opaque, but we can see that there are many symptoms of internal distress.
Real quick, Gordan, obviously they would know that an attack on the United States or U.S. forces in Taiwan right now would bring about a U.S. reaction. By definition, there's no U.S. president who can have American service members killed overseas by a foreign power and not respond. So are they testing? Is this just a matter of testing to see what our response is going to be rather than to say we're actually going to attack?
Well, I think part of it is laying that justification. And it's not so much that we have to maybe worry about the Chinese thinking of and planning an attack on us, but there could be, for instance, a collision in peripheral waters or in the skies, because China is engaged in very dangerous maneuvers in the global commons. And, we saw what happened on April 1st, 2001 with the EP3. The same thing could happen again. And the law of averages says that it will happen because China is really testing us.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. A great historical reference to when a U.S. plane was crippled by the Chinese military, forced to land, really tested George W. Bush in the very beginning parts of his presidency. Gordan, great conversation as always. Thank you. We'll be right back.